If you're like me and have ADHD, or maybe you struggle with focus while playing, you've probably been frustrated with your scores being impacted by lack of focus. The good news is that you can hack your brain to help with this and hit fewer bad shots, and I just showed you how to do it. In this video, I'm back at Omni Tucson National and I'm trying to break 40. In order to do this, I'm really trying to keep my ADHD in check to limit my bad shots caused by lack of focus. A word of advice for those trying to do the same? Know what par is when you select the course. The back 9 of the Catalina course is a par 37, so I only have 2 shots to work with instead of the 3 or 4 I thought I was going to have. Fantastic planning, Adam. So how do we hack our brain to be consistently more focused during our round of golf? In a word, triggers. In my last video, I went through what triggers are and how they can negatively impact your round, so you may want to go check it out if you haven't seen it. In this case, I've trained myself to trigger my focus after a very specific sensory input, and you can do the same. And if you're someone asking, why would I need a trigger to get focused? I know what I need to do to get ready for a shot. Then this video may not be for you. But the ADHD brain is different. It needs these constant reminders to help keep it from straying or chasing that sweet, sweet dopamine, both on the course and in everyday life. In general, my attention will fade in less than 20 seconds unless I'm hyper-focused on something, which I might cover in a separate video. For now, let's walk through the steps I take to gain focus and hit shots before my focus fades away. Step 1. Triggering the focus. I very intentionally carry clubs by the shaft of the club as I'm walking up to the tee box or to my ball. I do this because I use the feel of the club grip as my trigger to focus on my shot. Touching the club grip signals my brain to focus on the shot. It doesn't happen overnight, but with some practice, you can get yourself to recognize the stimulus and trigger focus as well. Step 2. Pick your aim points. Yes, plural aim points. The first aim point is something well into the distance. A tree, a building, a sign, anything works. The second aim point is something 6 to 12 inches in front of my ball and between the first aim point. The first aim point helps me visualize the line, and the second is my club face aim point. Step 3. Deep breath. As I'm walking to the ball, I'm maintaining focus on my second aim point and taking a deep breath. The breath physically triggers a reminder to maintain focus on the aim points and not let other thoughts creep in. Step 4. Alignment. At the ball, I get my grip right, get into my stance based on the second aim point, and lift my head for a very quick, final check on alignment. Step 5. Swing. I try not to think about the swing I'm making while I'm making it. No thoughts about trying to cut the ball, draw the ball, or distance. I change my grip and alignment during step 4, so all I have to do is swing my normal swing. Is that really what I should be doing? No. But if I complicate my thoughts during my swing, I end up trying to focus on too many things and I shoot worse scores. And if I show you all of this without pauses, you'll see that this whole process was 10 seconds long. At this point, I'm watching my shot, and it's anyone's guess as to whether or not I'm really going to remember where the ball truly went, because by this time, I'm already starting to drift off to think about a joke, or how hot it is, or one of a million other random things. Another thing I'll likely do a full video on is that ADHD brains crave dopamine more than non-ADHD brains, which means we're more prone to impulsive behavior. When it comes to golf, this can often show up in the form of trying crazy shots that would skyrocket the dopamine if they work out. So here's a bonus tip that you may want to incorporate in step 1 if you're having this challenge. When gripping the club, ask yourself, is this the right play? It's simple, but I couldn't tell you how many times I've gone into a shot chasing dopamine only for it to not work out. Asking yourself that question gives you a moment to make sure that you've got the right plan. Of course, if you don't care about the score, then chase all the dopamine you want. In my case, I'm trying to lower my scores. And by triggering my focus for 10 to 20 seconds at a time, I limit how much time I have to try to remain locked in during the round. This doesn't always result in a perfect shot, but it does help reduce the amount of unrecoverable bad shots you make during the round. It also helps blocking out the noise that is happening during the round. And this round was full of noise. It was a really windy day, and my camera had been blown over 3 or 4 times. This was getting to me pretty bad because I was worried the camera was going to break. By triggering my focus, I was able to step up the shots and put this out of my mind for 10 to 20 seconds at a time. If I was focused on the camera during these shots, I guarantee I would have hit a lot more bad shots. Unfortunately, my worries were warranted, and on the 8th hole, this happened. The camera focus would never recover, and I couldn't film the last hole. I went on to bogey the last and ended up shooting a 41, which is really solid for me, despite worrying about the camera all day. I owe a lot of that to triggering my focus with a simple touch of a club grip.